guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, you're very welcome, and for those who have always been supportive of my channel, thank you so much for all the love and support. In today's project, we are going to be learning how to make this very exciting top. I can't wait to share with you because I'm very sorry that it took long because I had promised to release it last week. So I'm sure some people were on standby, but I had to figure out a few things before I even released anything because it was a bit tricky to get it in perfect shape. So here we are. I figured it out and we are going to work on it and get some really amazing results. So for the materials, you'll need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a 6mm crochet hook. We shall use it as a Tunisian crochet hook, measuring tape, and yarn. And for the yarn, I'll be using a chunky yarn in the brand Seal. So let's get started. You're going to start off with a slip knot. And you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after this, we are going to start working our rows. So for the Tunisian crochet stitch, as I told you in my earlier videos, this is the very first stitch. So you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, not this one, but this one. So go in with and pull up a loop. Go into the second space, pull up a loop, go into the next space, pull up a loop, and go into the very last chain and pull up a loop. You'll have a total of 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. So this is the end of row 1. And we are going to row 2 and we are going to be increasing. This top is worked from down upwards. So from here you're going to yarn over. This is the increase. Go into this loop here. So since this is the very first stitch, we don't go in here. So yarn over, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, pull up a loop in the next loop, pull up a loop in the next. So you should have 5 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over to make the 6th loop, and then go into the very last stitch, but you go into both loops for the last stitch and pull up a loop. So you'll have a total of 7 loops on your hook. So that means we've increased from 5 to 7. So we've increased at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row. So yarn over, pull through 1, and then for all the rest, yarn over, pull through 2. So we are done with this and we are going to row 3. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next loop. There's a loop here that we created by yarning over. Make sure you don't skip it, this one. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, go ahead and pull up a loop in every single stitch until the second last stitch. So before you go into the very last stitch here, you're going to yarn over and go into the last stitch and pull up a loop. So you'll have a total of 9 loops on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means we've increased both at the beginning and at the end again. We've done the same exact thing that we did for row 2. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 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 and pull through 2. So we are going to go ahead until we have a total of 10 rows. So for now I've done a total of 3 rows. You're going to continue increasing both at the beginning and at the end until you have a total of 10 rows. So repeat row 2 until row 10, and I'll meet you when you have that. So we are back with our 10 rows, and this is how your work should look like. We've been increasing on both sides, that's why it has created that triangular shape. And now we are going to do something different. This is the exact bottom of our top at the front, and now we're going to be extending some stitches to the right and some stitches to the left. So go ahead and use your tape measure to measure around your bust. We want the top to go around our bust, but not completely. So whatever measurement you get, let me say 30 inches, you'll subtract about 5 inches off that measurement, and that's how long we want our top to be. So let me say I'm using a sample of 30 inches. You're going to subtract 5, and then it will go to 25 inches. This is the gap that we shall be leaving at the back side for the lacing up of the strand at the back, the corset style. So when you're left with 25 inches, you're going to go ahead and measure across your work, just in case you use the different hook, and this is about 6 inches. So subtract it off 25 and you'll get a total of 25 minus 6 is 19. So we are left with 19 inches. So that 19, you're going to divide it by 2, which will be 9.5, I guess. So you're going to make a chain of 9.5 on this side, and then a chain of 9.5 on this side. So if you're not going to use these measurements, just go ahead and make chains that go to the back of your body, but not completely to close up, because we need some space for the lacing up. So for me, I'm going to do a total of 30 chains to the right and a total of 30 chains to the left. The only reason why I had to explain how to achieve that is because we all come in different sizes, and for me, I'm working a size medium, and you may be working, let me say, for an XL. This won't apply to that. So I'm going to make a chain of 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So these are my 30 rows. So after my 30 chains on this side, I'm going to get a very short strand. I'm going to just remove my hook and leave this yarn still on this side. I'm going to get just a small strand, and I also make a chain of 30 on the opposite side. So I'll attach my yarn in this very last stitch like this, and make a chain of 30. And after your 30 chains on this other side, I'm going to just chain up 1, cut my yarn. So I've chained a total of 31, and the 31st chain, I'm going to just tighten it like that. And so I have something like this. So from here, you're going to go back to your loop on this side where we didn't cut our yarn. And from now on, we are going to be working long rows up to the end of this chain. So we are going to be working like this to the end. So this total length should be able to go around your bust area up to 3/4 of your rib cage measurement. So I'm going to go into the second chain from the hook, pull up a loop, and continue to pull up loops in each and every chain. Okay, so now I've gone into each and every chain, and now I'm on the body of this part that we had made, and this time we're going to go into that very first stitch and pull up a loop, then continue to pull up loops in each and every stitch across. So make sure your stitches are on the hook and they don't slide off. Make sure you block them with your finger at the end of the hook. So continue to pull up loops all the way across the small body that we had made in the beginning. And then we are also going to cross over to the other part of the chain. So the stitches are quite many, but you just have to work with them. So we've pulled up a loop across this piece, and now we're going to go into that very last stitch and also pull up a loop, and then start pulling up loops in each and every chain on the other side until the end of the row. So continue to do that for each and every chain here, and I'll see you at the end here. So you can see the chunk of loops that I have on my hook. There are quite many. So we're going to be doing the return pass. So for the return pass, remember I told you, you start with yarn over pull through 1, and then for all the rest it's yarn over pull through 2. So you're going to pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across your row. So for those who are using the Tunisian crochet hook, shouldn't be having a problem with this, because your hook is quite long, but for mine it's a bit short. That's why the stitches are so packed. But don't worry about that. We shall work with what we have. So it's yarn over pull through 2 all the way across your row. The only one where we pull through 1 is the very first stitch. And for all the rest, it's yarn over pull through 2. So you should be seeing your top coming together now, because we've worked all the way across, a row all the way across. So continue to yarn over pull through 2 until the end of the stitch, and I'll meet you at this point. Okay, so I've gone all the way across, and this is how my work looks like. This is how it looks like on the right side, and that's the same exact thing that we have on the left side. So we're going to repeat row 11 for a total number of rows that you need for your size. So let me show you. This time we are not increasing. That means we are not going to be yarning over. We are going to just be going straight into the second stitch. So the second stitch is this one. It's not, we don't go into the first one because our very first stitch is this. So we start from the next loop and pull up a loop all the way across. And also when you come to the end, please don't yarn over, because we are no longer increasing. We want our work to move straight upwards. We are no longer doing this shape, this cone shape. So repeat that row until you get the your top has enough coverage for your bust, or until you get the length of the top that you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some more rows, and I'll be showing you how many that I did for my size. So I'm back, and I did a total of 17 rows all the way across my work, and this is what I have. So this is the extension that we first did at the beginning, and these are my 17 rows. So if you need more coverage, go ahead and make some more rows, maybe up to 20 rows, because I'm a size medium. So sorry, actually small to medium. So you can notice that we have very big loops here, very big spaces. We want to get rid of them, so we are going to do a bind off after your very last row. If you have 20 rows, whatever length that you've chosen to make. So you go into that loop, that second loop, like you're going to work a normal stitch, and yarn over, pull through all. Go into the next stitch and do the same, yarn over, pull through all. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all, and continue to do that all the way across. So you'll notice that whenever you do that, the gaps close up like this normal stitch. But before you do that, you have this. So you're going to go all the way across your work. This is my 18th row all the way across. And it's my final row before I work on the straps. So go all the way across, and I'll be showing you how to work on the straps after this. So I've come to the end of my row, and you can see the gaps have closed up all the way across. So you'll just go into the very last stitch and yarn over, pull through all. So this is how we finish up this. You're going to chain up one, get your pair of scissors and cut. Shall weave in these ends later. So we're going to do something else. We're going to be attaching the straps. So for the straps, you're going to make a slip knot and attach at this corner here. Like that. And now you're going to go into 5 stitches from here. Actually, I'm going to make 6 stitches. So pull up a loop. These are 2 stitches on your hook, since this counts as a stitch. Then go into the next, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop. We want a total of 6 loops on our hook. So we have a total of 6 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So this is the back side of my work, and this is the front side. We're going to continue doing this row until we get the length of the strap that we want. So you insert your hook in the second loop, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop. So we are still using the Tunisian crochet stitch to work on the strap. So we have a total of 6. They should be 6 all the way throughout the strap. Like that. Do it again. We're not increasing anything. So we're just doing plain rows of 6 stitches until you get the length that's comfortable for your top. Let me go ahead and keep working mine. I'll be letting you know how many rows that I did. So for my strap, I did a total number of 34 rows, and that's about, it measured about 16 inches right from the beginning of the strap up to the end. And now I'm going to bind off. So remember, to bind off, you just go into the next loop, yarn over, pull through all, and continue to do that across all the 6 stitches. So after this, you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn, but don't cut very close because you're going to attach this part to the front side of our work. So I'm going to cut, and now we're going to introduce our darning needle. You're going to put your yarn through this strand that you have cut, put it through your hook, and now I'm going to just make a slip, a very tight knot there. So we're going to identify where we want to attach our strap. You can see it's at the back because this is the side that's going to fold over to the back. And now we have to bring it back to the front so that we create a loop like this. We create an armhole. So I hope this makes sense. So for me, I want to attach my strap in the middle of this point here. So I'm going to just go up, and then at this stitch I put part of it to this side. I count 2 stitches to this side and 2 stitches to this side. That's where I'm going to be attaching my my strap. So go into each and every stitch, attaching to the stitch on the opposite side. So it's very easy. Just find the suitable spot where to attach your strap so that it's not inconveniencing for you to wear. So for me, this is what I have. I'm going to go into a few more stitches to make it more firm. So this is what I have, and you can see this is my armhole, and this is the base of my work. So let me zoom out a bit to give you a clear picture. The exact middle of this point where this part ended, so it was here. I went all the way straight up and got a stitch here, counted some stitches to the right and some stitches to the left just to sit this strap onto that point. So I'm going to go into a few stitches to hide in this thread, and I'm going to cut. So you're going to do the same exact thing that we've done on this side onto the other side. So you can see the side is still very blank, and to work on this side, I'm going to be showing you the beginning part. Since the Tunisian crochet stitch is worked on only one side, then you're going to go ahead and have your work on the right side of your work. Have it on the right side, and then count 5 stitches in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and into the 5th, sorry, the 6th, because we want 6 stitches, you're going to attach your yarn. And after attaching, you're going to go into the next loop, pull up a loop. So we want a total of 6 loops on our hook. So those are 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th one in the very last stitch. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So from this point, you know exactly what to do. We are going to just mirror what we've done on this side onto the opposite side. So let me go ahead and work mine, and then the next part will be showing you how to make the sleeves. Okay, so after working on both sides, your top should look something like this. You can see the straps are on both sides, and now we're going to be working the sleeves. You can leave it like this if you don't want the sleeves on your top, but for the top that I showed you that I would be demonstrating had sleeves, So I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So for the sleeve, you're going to start off with a chain of 12. If you're a larger size, you may consider around 15. So these are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now you're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So this one, pull up a loop and continue to pull up loops through each and every chain. So you should have a total of 12 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way to the end of the row. So after this, you're going to start increasing on both sides. So yarn over, insert your hook in the second stitch and continue to pull up loops in each and every stitch all the way across. And before you place a stitch in the very last stitch, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook in the last stitch. So that's how we increase. I hope you still remember, because I showed you how to increase when we were starting the top. So we're going to do that until that the sleeve measures the circumference of our arm. So let me measure mine. So mine is about 10 inches. Let me see. So 10 to 11 inches, that's what my arm measures. So you're going to keep increasing until you get the circumference of your arm, because we need the top to be well fitted around the arm. So keep increasing until this length measures the circumference of your arm, and then when you hit that, you're going to stop increasing and do some more rows downwards while just making it straight. So let me just show you what I did for my first sleeve. I don't want to go through the whole process all over again. So I started with my 12 chains, increased all the way to this part for a total of around 15 rows. I think it was 15 rows, and this is what I got. And then I did a total of 7 rows to make a total of 22 rows for my sleeve. So this is what I have. Now you're going to go ahead and so after my 22nd row, I'm going to bind off. That's the last part of every Tunisian simple stitch. So to bind off, you just go into each and every stitch and pull through all. So go all the way across. This top was a try and error. I didn't exactly know what I was doing, but I gave it a try anyway, and I was happy with the results, so I decided to share. So this is what I have after binding off. You're going to do 2 of these, and then we start attaching them to the top. So I'll be showing you one side and then you'll go ahead to do the other side. So let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so this is our top, and I'm going to be working on this side of the top. This is one of the sleeves that we did. So I'm going to just grab my darning needle and put some thread through, because we're going to just be attaching with this needle. So I've put it through, and I'm going to just leave this side, and then I'm going to just leave a very long strand because I'll have to use it later on, so I'm not going to cut a very short strand. So I have my 34 rows of the sleeve, and I have 12 stitches at the top of my sleeve. So we're going to do 34 minus 12, and you'll get a total of 22. This is because we want to place this part in the exact middle of our sleeve. So it's 34 rows minus the 12 stitches, which is a total of 22. So divide it by 2 and you'll have a total of 11. So whatever number you decided to use, just relate to my calculations and fit in your figures. So 22 divided by 2 is 11. So we are going to skip 11 stitches from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. 11, and then you attach the sleeve there. I'm going to leave a very long strand on this side because we shall need it when we come back to work on this side. So just pull through. Okay, I'm just attaching it, so just find a suitable way of doing that. Now we're going to be attaching these stitches all the way around. So you go into the second stitch on the sleeve and put it into the second stitch on this strap. So we have a total of 12 stitches. Just keep going, one stitch onto the next stitch, one stitch onto the next stitch. Okay, continue going. So you can see this, we're attaching this to this. Okay, so my 12 stitches are finished. My 12 stitches are finished, and now we are going to continue attaching. So stitch to stitch, so one stitch here onto one stitch on this side, and keep going, one stitch onto the next stitch here. So when you get to the corner here, we've reached this part where this strap attaches to the main body of the top. So when you get there, you're going to just remove your darning needle. We shall come back to it later. So keep that strand, go to the opposite side, go to the strap that we left on this side, and do the same exact thing that we've done on this other side. Okay, so stitch to stitch, so one stitch here onto this stitch here. So continue to do that. So when you reach this corner, you're going to just pull your needle through and leave this strand. We still need them, so don't cut them yet. Just leave them on their sides. And now you should notice that you have attached your top to the strand that we created. You've attached your sleeve to this strap, but then the bottom is still a bit weird. The next thing that we are going to do is to attach the sleeve part. These rows that didn't have any increases, so I did 7 rows of no increases, and I'm going to go ahead and attach those 7 rows together. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This row had an increase, I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've attached my 7 rows together, and you should notice you should be having a very big hole in the armpit. We are going to now do something different. You're going to pull out your darning needle, and you're going to stretch out your work. The best thing to do is to count the number of stitches you have at the bottom and count these number of stitches that you have at the top, and then distribute them evenly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 stitches at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 10 stitches at the top. So every one stitch here will be put into 2 stitches at the bottom, because 20 divided by 10 is 2. So I'm going to just get the yarn on this side. You can use any yarn, you can move like this or like this, because we have strands on both sides. So I'll be using the one on this side. So 2 stitches at the bottom into 1 stitch at the top. So that's 1, and then the second one at the bottom, still in that same stitch, like that. So you move to the next stitch at the top and at the bottom. So 1, move to the next stitch at the bottom, but into the same stitch at the top. So we are just trying to evenly distribute these stitches into the upper stitches. So that we don't have a bulge in the armpits. So 1 here, and then the second one into the same stitch at the top. So you should relate what I'm doing to your size. If you're a size medium, well and good, but if you're not, then you're going to just apply the same knowledge and do the same exact thing that I'm doing for my top onto yours. And I hope you get it right. Sorry. So 2 stitches at the bottom into 1 stitch at the top. So you can see this hole is getting smaller and smaller. So one here and the second stitch into the top stitch. So we have one stitch left. Just find the most suitable way to attach this. So this is what we have. Sorry, I worked on the outside part of my work, but since this stitch is it has stripes in it, it won't really show. So this is how my armpit looks like. This is how I've attached my sleeve. And the next thing that we are going to do is to get rid of the loose strands. So you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing that you have done here onto this side. So if you want to make an asymmetrical top, this is a perfect way. You can have a sleeve on only one side. You can go ahead and make your sleeve even longer on one side and then have this at the other side. It's really up to you at this point because I've given you the basic knowledge. So the next thing that we are going to do is to create loops at the back where we shall have our strap laced up. Alright, so for the back side, I've created these loops on this side. I'm going to do the same exact thing on this other side. So I just attached my yarn here and created loops here, and I did a chain of 5, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next, all the way up, and I have a total of 10 loops. And now since there are 10, I have a total of 20 stitches all the way across because I want to work my stitches on the right side of my work. So I'm going to count 20 stitches in, and I start working downwards. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So on the 21st I'll attach my yarn, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 5, skip 1 stitch here, single crochet in the next, and continue this, chain 5, skip this, single crochet in the next, continue this all the way down. So these loops are where we're going to lace up the back of the top. Then I'm placing my very last single crochet, chain 1, and cut your yarn. So we have these small loops on both sides of our back side, and now we are going to make a very long chain, just a simple chain, very long, to be laced up through these loops. So you'll start with a slip knot, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and continue to do this until your chain builds up to a length that you need. So I did a very long one. I don't remember how many chains that I did, but they could be around 250 to 300. So after this, you're going to start from the bottom. You put your chain through the first loops on both sides like that. And now we are going to continue to cross the one on this side onto this side, and then the one on this side onto the opposite side, and continue to do that all the way up. So this is how the back side is going to look like. And at this point we are literally done with our top. I'm going to be showing you how it looks like after everything. So you can see I did so many chains, but still it may not be enough. So make sure the chain is very long. At least you'd rather have a very long one that you just have to reduce it a bit than having a short one and you have to keep working on it. So into the very last, that's how the back side will look like. It's laced up. And yeah, this is basically it. If you would want to make this side a bit neater, you can go around with a row of single crochets so that you eliminate the fold, especially on this side. So you can go all the way around placing single crochets, but I'm not going to do that because this is just perfectly fine. It's just a sample, but yeah, this is how the top looks like. You can also go at the bottom with a row of single crochets. I did that. And yeah, this is how to make this top. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos. Bye.